RJ Kyler, I play Billy Cranston, the Blue Ranger.
I'm Naomi Scott. I play Kimberly Hart.
The
Pink Ranger. You didn't, yeah.
I'm Dacre Montgomery. I play Jason, the Red Power Ranger.
I'm Becky G, and I play the Yellow Ranger, Trini.
I'm Ludi, and I play Zack, the Black Ranger.
John Gatins, screenwriter, executive producer.
I'm Bill Hater. I play Alpha 5.
I'm Elizabeth Banks. I play Rita Repulsa.
Dean Israelite, the director.
This is so much fun. Fun. Yeah. And I can only imagine how much fun you had doing the film. But I want to ask all of our young actors here, in addition to the fun, you've got a lot, this is very stunt heavy, fight choreography, and underwater sequencing. Can each of you talk about the training that you had to go through to get physically conditioned for the role, and particularly those long underwater sequences?
Well, me and we all trained in our respective living environments, I guess you can say. I trained at 8711 with, also Becky trained at 8711 too. And then it was just mostly physical training, and then also stunt training, which consists of being able to respect distances and also knowing that your partner in this scene is your partner, and both of you guys' safety is, you know, mostly important. So we can keep everybody safe and without bloody noses. And then we got to Vancouver post-production, and then we trained for choreography, and then our stunt team was really good. And so they made us safe and made us feel safe doing our stunts, even though harnesses are still one of the most uncomfortable things known to man.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting about the fact that we trained, I mean, you know, Becky and I, we trained before we actually got to Vancouver, but I think it was more to do with the stamina to actually get through the shoot. It's more for us and to be strong. I don't think it was necessarily purely an aesthetic thing. It wasn't like, oh, you need to be, at the end of the day, we are, you know, playing teenagers in school, and I think it's important that, I mean, not every teenager looks like Ludi Lin, but, you know,
That's because Ludi Lin's not a teenager.
One can only dream.
One ounce of that on his
Take off your shirt!
But, you know, we can only try. So I think that was really important, that we, and, you know, Becky and I talked about, especially just for us as girls, like we wanted to be normal girls in high school.
We wanted to look real. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to look ripped as possible. No, it was a lot of fun. I didn't come from a sports or physically fit background, I guess, and spending 2.5 months in Perth training in the lead up to shooting was amazing, and I learned so much about my body and my flexibility and my diet, and yeah, I mean, the stamina to go through the shoot, but also to learn how to be safe on set, and the choreography and the stunts was so important.
Definitely. I think we should take a moment of silence as well for all the teenage girls that fainted every time they post a shirtless selfie. The boys, me and Nay actually, at one point we were going to print out pictures of the boys' six-packs and then take pictures of them and then post them. Yeah. It was interesting. I mean, I grew up in Inglewood, so the concept of fighting was very natural. Just kidding. Yeah. No, it's like RJ said, you know, this person is not your opponent, they're your partner, and so learning to fight for camera and stacking and safety zones, safety boxes, and, you know, announcing, okay, I'm getting on the wires now and I'm heading up. All that was very new, I think, for a lot of us, but yeah, it was so much fun, more than anything.
Yeah, for myself, I don't take training as training. It's not something that's hard for me to do. I take it as playing. So I can do it all the time. I can do it for, you know, half an hour. If I have it, I can do it for 6 hours if you give it to me. But I learned that sometimes I overplay and I overtrain. And I believe the first day on set when we did some camera tests, they had a problem with my man arms because I obviously overplayed those too much.
Yeah.
I have that problem all the time.
When I think about man arms, I think about Bill
constantly
Hader.
comes up in everything I do.
Totally.
God
Give him
damn, he has
6
too
hours.
many
He's
amazing
training
man
all
arms.
6 hours.
God damn it, you could do it for 6 hours or 30 minutes.
6 hours.
This is a great take, great version. I love it. So much fun. Now, my question is for Dean and John. You know, what I love about the original series is that it's campy but fun. You know, I know campy doesn't translate really well to the big screen at times, so but there are purist fans out there. So you know, when your attempt in rebooting this franchise, as far as design, looks, costumes, tone go, did you have concerns about maybe alienating some of the purist fans? And if so, what are some of your efforts in preventing that from happening?
I mean, I don't know that we were ever. We try to come from it from a place of, listen, I grew up with the show. So it's my childhood too. And that made me feel like I had a true north all the time in terms of what I would call myself a lapsed fan, someone that grew up on it and kind of grew away from it, what I would want to see in a reboot of it. So I just use that kind of as true north. And I've gotten this question a lot about, were we nervous when we started to approach it? And honestly, I don't think we let that factor in. I think we were excited to be bold in how we were going to reimagine and reinvent it. And I felt like if we kept the spirit of what the original show was in terms of the feeling, in terms of kind of the warmth and the joy and the heart that I think epitomizes the original show, if we were true to that, then I thought we would have a lot of latitude. So we were just excited about the reimagining and hope that if we did all of that properly and stay true, that the die-hard fans are still going to appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll add to that is just to say I think that we wanted to honor both the original series, but also try to put it in a world that we thought a young audience could kind of recognize themselves in as well. So
my question is for the actors up there, with the wealth of resources that you have the TV show, and then you also have the script. Did you let the script talk to you, or did you sort of go back and rewatch the show for inspiration, or what
yeah,
do you want to take it?
I just wanted to say a big thank you to Dean in the studio, because I think there was a huge incentive from the creatives to add our own touch. Mm-hmm. I'm a newcomer, so you know, what do I know? But I think that's pretty fortunate. We're pretty lucky to have had that opportunity to put our own little spice into the roles and bring our own. You know, as opposed to it being. Thanks, Dean.
It was my pleasure.
To add to that, me and Nate talk about it a lot, that we kind of made the conscious decision not to revisit those things, just because I wanted to take that impression that it first made on me and how it's inspired me and stuck with me, and then build off of that. And I think what intrigued me the most when I first had the first conversation about the script and my character with Dean was that although these names may sound familiar, you are meeting our characters for the first time. And it's taking place now in 2017 with really relevant and current issues to now, which I think, like John said, a lot of kids can identify themselves with and somehow relate to one of our characters in some kind of way.
Yeah, and also, lastly, I think that for me, I wanted to kind of start afresh, and I think that sometimes, you can, I don't know, I think that. Yeah, that's basically it. Sorry. My mind just went blank. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but to
I'm not
bounce
gonna
off
lie
of
to
that,
people.
I grew up with this original Power Rangers series. And when I read the script, it struck me as an origin story of these kids. We get to get deeper into their background. So for the TV series, I found that people had a lot of time to grow to love these characters through each episode, when in the script, you really have to dig deep to make them fall in love and relate to the characters within this movie. What I did, I didn't go back to the original American series, but I did go back to watch a few episodes of the original Super Sentai series from the Japanese TV show, and it kind of inspired me to think about how different things could be, because in that show, everything was different. The Yellow Ranger was a man, right? So it gave me a lot of motivation to actually put my own creativity into these characters rather than, follow some convention or memory.
So Elizabeth, your Rita is pretty scary. I was surprised how scary she's pretty frightening. When the first images came out, though, there was a lot of criticism about your character, but I think you pulled it off.
Oh, great. Yeah, I didn't read any of that criticism, so I was totally...
What was it? Tell us. What was it?
Yeah, what did they
What did they say? Go into detail.
Oh, my God.
No.
Was it like she's
Tell us
ugly
everything.
and old? told him.
I'd also like to add that this is
Was she too she was too pretty, right?
this is like the sexiest we've ever seen Rita Repulsa. I'd like to say, honestly, I personally think, and I think that's dope. I think the aesthetic, everything just goes together so well. So I thought it was sick.
Yeah, it's like, Rita Repulsa.
Low key, can I get your number?
So we're frightened of her?
I'm so scared.
You want to know from Elizabeth, did you feel pressure to either imitate or what was your approach in this character that was already existent?
Yeah, well, this script is pretty different. We conceived of the character, I think, in a really modern way. She was so campy in the past. I loved the Rita Repulsa in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, etc. Because she's so larger than life, and she's sort of insane, and she's got this crazy laugh. And I wanted to preserve some of that energy in the character, but also we deal with what was on the page in front of me. And I also thought it was really important that these guys felt like they were up against real stakes, that she really was threatening and didn't give a flying crap about them or humanity, Earth, cars, their parents. Like, none of this makes any sense to her. She's an alien. She's 65 million years old.
She also, I gotta give Elizabeth huge props. She learned that language, which she fully could speak. Was it
Altarian?
Altarian.
Bill.
I had to do it phonetically, and I could not do it. And then the whole time, Dean was like, Elizabeth, she learned this. I was like, come on, man. And then I watch a scene of her, and I'm like, gosh, she did it, and she's really good. It's like her first language. It's like you're from, man. No, but yeah, that was amazing. That's super hard.
Yeah, I Skyped with a woman who created our language.
Correct.
Whose entire job was to come up with a fake language.
Bill didn't Skype with her.
Bill didn't Skype with her.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's
I just said, gosh, if I don't get this right, someone from that planet might be in the audience and be angry.
I'll be honest, I only did it because I was told, and this might not be true, that Bryan Cranston learned the language.
Well, Brian and I were both.
Not here.
Brian, no. Brian and I were doing it phonetically, and it did not sound the way you did it. So that was really awesome. I don't know how you did that.
All right, hello. Seamus Kelly, Den of Geek, and I have been a fan since the beginning, watched every single episode, all 24 years, love it to death. One of the great things about Power Rangers is, of course, its diversity. And this movie continues that, but also in new ways, in that they have characters that are not just different colors of skin, but they also have someone who, as the movie says, is on the spectrum, which I love. And they also had someone who's possibly questioning their sexuality, question mark.
Question mark?
From the actors involved in that, and also the director and writer, and sort of taking that whole big, bold step, because that's something that fans have wanted for so long, and it hasn't happened in the show. So what was the inspiration to go with that, and what was it like playing that as well?
Do you want to go first, RJ, or me?
Well, I guess so. No, it was exciting to be able to play a character that was on the spectrum, mostly because it challenged me to learn about something that I had no idea about, right? So it was like starting school over again, kind of. And it also, it kind of rekindled a friendship from my high school years, right? So I called my friend Andre to get like an insight, because Andre's on the spectrum, but he's one of the most brilliant minds that I've ever came in contact with, right? So it was like really cool to be able to step into that world and do that role justice, right? Because it's like, it's something that a lot of people don't understand, but we're all affected by it some way, And so it's like, that's cool, just to like be able to show how the world reacts to people that are on the spectrum, and also how people that are on the spectrum react to the world. Yeah.
Earlier, I'm still getting over you as Effie in the Hunger Games because of those fabulous outfits. Now you're dressed up in this one as well. The question is, does the outfit have a psychological effect on your performance?
Oh, yeah, of course. For sure it does. All of the hair, the makeup. I wear prosthetics in this movie as well, which I've never done before and may never do again. It changes your whole, I like to sleep in the makeup chair, so, because I'm there for 4 hours. So, but when I wake up and I look in the mirror, it's a totally different person sitting there. It's like I never feel like the character until I'm walking in their boots and like carrying the staff, and all of it changes your body language. and how you're perceived in the world.
I was wondering, I know our Rangers and even Rita, they got to don this cool armor and kind of get in
You
character.
guys don't have to look at me. Heckle me like I've been heckling you guys all.
And I was just wondering, what are the challenges or even the creative, leeway you got from playing a character that doesn't actually, you don't physically appear on screen. You're this little robot.
Well, I've run out of voices, so I just did my own voice. And he's really excited. He's been waiting for a long time. And to be honest, I'm being totally honest, I watched these guys acting. I watched their act, and it was just like we were in a scene together. You're watching what they're doing, and you're just reacting to what they were doing, and they're really good. They're really, really great. And I just kept saying that to Dean. There's probably tons of audio of me in the middle of a thing going, that was good. Oh, that was great. Yeah,
I thought you were talking about your performance.
No. Yeah.
That's good.
Aren't I fantastic? No, they were really good. I mean, it was really, it would have, I've done a lot of animation and I've done a lot of these things, and it is hard when you're kind of just in a little room and they're going, okay, so it's a spaceship and there's this and that, whatever. But getting to watch these guys, it made it really easy.
Thanks, mate.
Hi, it's Joy, Rich Girl TV. This question is for John. John, this is a great film. Everybody was great. I really loved it. You did such a great job writing the screenplay. And my question for you is about the relationships with the teenagers. Where did you come up with all the inspiration? Is this experiences from your background, growing up? It was just brilliant. So I just want to hear a little bit about that.
Thank you. I was not in Ludi's clique, just to put that out there. But I was sitting here thinking that I can't stop thinking
When he
about
was a
Ludi's
kid, he
clique.
found these coins.
No, I was actually sitting here thinking about these guys because we're like the elders up here, and like the young, beautiful people are sitting in front of us. And the first teenage movie that I worked on was Varsity Blues, and that was another movie where, thank you, where we had this collection of kids who have to kind of find each other and overcome the obstacles and things like that. And so I think Dean and I, in trying to come up with these characters, we wanted to reflect kind of what the world would be today. And somebody else referenced Breakfast Club, which is an amazing movie from my youth that I loved. And what would those issues and what would those characters be today? It's like, what would they be facing? So the ideas that these guys have already talked about were things we wanted to kind of bake into like what we were trying to represent today,